practical is something that we go through every single night. And in the same way, when our time here in this body is over, we're going to have to forever leave it. So that is why Maharaj explains to us over and over and over again that you are all here in this world to get something called Naam Datan. We all read in Gardas, we all do Bentiya in front of Paramatma, in front of God, Sanu Naam Tan Bakshum. Now Pasha explains to us what is Naam. Naam is Paramatma de Mukh jo jehdi awaaz paida hui when he created this entire universe. That's Naam. Now when we go to science classes, oftentimes we all have heard of the Big Bang Theory, that an explosion happened and this whole world came to be. And this has been something that's been told to us by Tan Sahib Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj when in Japji Sahib Ji Di Bani, where we all read Kita Pasao Eko Kwao. So science, this is something that science has just figured out almost like a few years ago, but Guru Nanak Dev Ji, who has told us many years ago that this whole world came to originate from something called the sound, which is known as Naam. It's also known as Shabd, right? So now oftentimes we see people, they think that if they go to someone, they can just write it down on a piece of paper and give it to you. And we hear people say that, oh, I went to this Gurmukh here, they wrote something down on a piece of paper and they said that's Naam. But when we read Gurbani Guru's Bachan, Gurbani Guru tells us, Kagad kalam na likhan har, manne kaabe, karn vichar aisa, naam niranjan hoye, jeko man jane, man koe. कि नाम जो आ परमात्मा दे मुख दी आवाज़ है जिस तो ये सारी सृष्टि होने आई है, इन्ना शक्तिशाली है, उन्होंने कोई पेपर ते लिख के तानू दे नहीं सकता. परमात्मा दे मुख दी आवाज़ है वो. The Naam that we're talking about is the sound of Paramatma, that we're all here to obtain that Naam. And that Naam is everywhere, it's even inside of us. Maharaj explains to us, Naunid Amrit Prabh ka Naam dehi mein iska bishram. Now what happens is, Naam is inside of us. Paramatma is calling out to us, Sarkar Beso, Harjan Pyare, Satgur Tumre Kar Sware, but we can't hear it, and that's the problem. The reason why we can't hear it is because every day, all night, what are we hearing is our thoughts. And this is why the Maya, the sound, the noise of the thoughts are louder inside of us. That is why we can't hear that Naam, which is also inside of us. Maharaj explains to us, Maya tari at anna bola shabd na sune baharol kachola. So now if we want to obtain that Naam, if we want to obtain peace, like we were talking about before, because no matter how much wealth we accumulate in this world, Maharaj explains to us in Gurbani, Sukh nai bote tan khate, Sukh nai pekhe nirt nate. And then he explains to us that how will you obtain peace? Sarb sukha har har gun gai. Simro simar simar sukh pao kal kalesh tan mahe mitavo. So now, when we chant the Gur Mantra, what it's going to do is it's going to alleviate our mind from this Maya. It's going to start decreasing our thoughts. And once our thoughts decrease, what's going to happen? We're going to start hearing that Naam. Just like Gurmukhs were explaining to us earlier, that there's Naad inside of us, there's Anhad Shabad inside of us, there's Tur inside of us. All of that is constantly being played. It's constantly something that is going on inside of our body, but we can't hear it because of these thoughts, because of this Maya. So that is why when we start doing Gur Mantra, when we start chanting the Gur Mantra, we have to chant it with a technique, because if we don't chant it with the technique, our thoughts won't decrease. And if our thoughts won't decrease, we won't hear the Naam, we won't hear the Shabd, we won't hear the Anhat Shabds, right? So that is why Gurmukhs over and over tell us that whenever you're sitting in Sachi Sangat, we have to keep our eyes closed whenever we're chanting the Gur Mantra. Because when our eyes are open, what happens is whoever's walking by us or sitting near us, or if the kids are playing sometimes, we get distracted by that. And when we get distracted by it, indirectly the thoughts inside of us increase, which is opposite of what we're trying to accomplish here. So that is why they say whenever we're chanting the Guru Mantra, the first thing that we must do is close our eyes. And then when we're breathing in, we say why. When we're breathing out, we say Guru, and we listen to our own voice. As long as our attention is inside of our own voice, what's going to happen is our mind is going to separate from these thoughts. And the more Guru Mantra that we chant, the more our mind will keep itself separated from Maya. And the more the sound of the noise of these thoughts start decreasing inside of us, what are we going to start hearing? We're going to start hearing the Nam. We're going to start hearing that Saj tone. We're going to start hearing those Anhat Shabds. So let's all do the practical. When we're breathing in, we say why. When we're breathing out, we say Guru, and we listen to our own voice. Aao ji karo ji shuru. Va Guru, 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 Va Guru. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So in this way, when we start chanting the Guru Mantra, the noise of these thoughts of this Maya inside of us, the Rajaguni, Tamoguni, and Satoguni thoughts,